What if I told you that you could get an instant hyperlapse with just this? It's on now? Okay. Now, instant hyperlapses. I know that some of you guys out there don't want to watch through a whole 7 or 8 or however long this video is so I need to find a way to convey this information to you very quickly. Yeah, that's right. For a very limited time, we are reviving 20-second tutorials. Alright. Okay, so let's say you want to make a hyperlapse, but you don't want to take a bunch of pictures or make a sped up video, but you have your phone. Well, open the phone, go to the camera app, go to the hyperlapse mode, turn on the super stabilization mode, and just run around filming stuff. I don't know if this works on iPhone, Android gang. So for the hyperlapse that you saw in the intro, I shot that on my phone, the Samsung Galaxy S10, and I did not add any stabilization in post, none at all. I did add some tweaks to it. I added the movie bars to make it feel a bit more cinematic. I color graded it a little, and I added some masks to like transition between each hyperlapse to make it feel like one smooth, continuous hyperlapse. I don't even know if you guys noticed those. And the fourth final thing, I added this to like sort of enhance the hyperlapses a little bit, but it's completely optional. I added motion blur. We'll talk about that one later. Another thing that I forgot to mention was that I also speed ramped my hyperlapses so it fit with the beat. So sometimes it would be faster and sometimes it'd be slower. And that kind of helped me retime it and fit everything on. Now, I need to go to sleep because of everyone staying at home. I have been sleeping at around like 3 a.m. in the morning, and because of this I've been waking up at around 11, so now it is 12 o'clock and I should be going to sleep. So see you guys tomorrow or whenever I start filming again. I just realized that this is the first time that I've actually filmed at night, so yeah, it's nighttime right now, because usually I actually film like daytime. I go outside, I do all of that. It's really harsh sunlight and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Alright. Good morning, hope you guys are having a good day or night or whenever you guys are watching this. And I actually woke up at like, 8:30, so that's pretty good. I got out of bed at 9, so it's not as good. But I got a comment on my last video talking about my focus and how it wasn't always spot on. And yes, that is true. And that's because I use manual focus and sometimes I forget to set it correctly. And I could use autofocus, but the autofocus on this camera is not that good. Okay, so how about this? For this next part, let's use autofocus and see how well that works. And it is now set to autofocus on face priority. So this should be tracking my face and focusing on it. Is it working? I have no idea. Okay, so now let's talk about the super stabilized mode on the phone, or as it's actually called, as I just found out, super steady mode. So in order to understand that, you first have to understand how this phone works. The Samsung Galaxy S10 has 3 cameras, a wide angle, a telephoto, and a normal lens. And when you use the super stabilized mode, instead of using the normal lens and stabilizing that, what it does is it uses the wide angle. So when this phone uses the super steady mode, it instead uses the wide angle and it just punches into that to make it look like the normal angle lens. And that helps eliminate a lot of shake, and it usually works really well and it's usually really smooth. But it has one major downside that I've found, and that is a significant drop in quality. And we are back at night, except this time I actually have some lights set up. If you guys look over here, I have this LED thing set up that I just put on the bench and have it bouncing up orangish light. Over there, I just put a blue filter on top of the main LED light that I used to light up this room. And I'm using it to give this room kind of like a teal and orangish look. Tell me if you guys like it, because I don't really know. I mean, I think it looks okay, but maybe it could be better. And speaking of using my phone to record stuff, let's now talk about the quality between super stabilized mode and regular video mode. So now I'm in the camera app in super steady mode, and let's look at this Rode microphone thing. And if you guys can see the text here, it says Rode, but as you can see, it kind of looks fuzzy. And that's because, as we said before, it's using the wide angle and it's cropping in. Now, if we switch from super steady to just regular video mode, you can see it becomes much more clear. Now, let's take another example, like this Zhiyun symbol on this gimbal right here. This is what it looks like in regular video mode, and this is what it looks like in super steady mode. Right now, it kind of looks like it's out of focus, so let's try to focus. Yeah, it's not really focusing because it's cropping in from the wide angle to the regular angle. The super steady mode isn't high enough quality. So we know that using super steady mode drops your video quality significantly, and I've tried to shoot hyperlapses without super steady mode, but it usually ends up really shaky. It doesn't work that well. Sometimes it works. Maybe if you just have your shot like on a tripod and you're just filming stuff moving in the foreground, that would work. But most of the time I like using super steady mode. But there is another option to kind of hide that loss in quality if you're using super steady mode, and that is, as we mentioned before, using motion blur. Alright, someone told me that I should stop using whip pans, so I'm gonna find the lens cap. Alright, so I can't find the lens cap right now. I'm just gonna cover it, and when I go out to the next scene or wherever I am, I'm gonna take the lens cap off if I remember. If not, it's just gonna fade from black. Alright, let's do this. Is it good? Hi guys? Yep. Alright, let's go. Motion blur is the natural blurriness of movement. The problem is that when it's really bright, or when you just take a bunch of pictures in succession, like in a hyperlapse, you don't get that blurriness. Now, there's software out there that lets you add blurriness back into your movement. What it does is it basically interpolates each frame and can guess where there needs to be blurriness. After Effects has two ways of doing this: CC Force Motion Blur or Pixel Motion Blur. When I did the hyperlapses, I used Pixel Motion Blur because I thought it looked a little bit better, and I don't know how they're different, but they use slightly different techniques to do slightly different things. Now, when you have motion blur on like a hyperlapse or something, it'll hide any imperfections or drops in quality to that video, because it's hard to tell when everything's more blurry. It also smoothens out the hyperlapse to give it a more realistic feel. The problem is that it takes forever. Instead of just filming a video and then you're done, you have your hyperlapse, you have to load it onto After Effects or whatever editor of your choice, put on that effect, and it takes forever to render. My computer was like close to melting when I did it, and it took 20 minutes to render out this 30-second sequence. But if you do it, and you put all these things together, the color grade, the cinematic bars, speed ramps, the motion blur, all into a hyperlapse, so you make a sequence, it looks pretty dang good.